Hi there, this is what it takes to see point 2. I already went through some of the tools that I use to overcome my visual impairment and see well enough to be a law student and hopefully a successful lawyer. I went through my magnifying glasses, I went through my magnifier, and then when I ended my last vlog, I was showing you all the Pebble. This is a little basic video camera, and I'm going to demonstrate it so that you see how it can be used to read. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you. I'm moving you. Don't be frightened. Here we go. It's okay. And I'm going to show you basically what it does on a piece of paper so you can see how it magnifies. Okay? You can set how big. Can you see that? You can set how big you want it to see. There you can see. And you just move it around. It also will change colors, so it'll have black screen with yellow print or black on white. Some people see better with that with different visual impairments like retinitis pigmentosa or some of the other degenerative diseases of the eye. It depends on what works best for you. That seems to irritate my eyes to stare at the yellow letters. So I do not use that. I like it to be bright white with black print. So that's easier for me to pick out what's going on. I also think it's a little less conspicuous. There's that whole pride issue. Okay, so the other tool that I wanted to show you, we've looked at the Pebble. And like I said, the Pebble's really helpful, but I am very challenged at moving that thing back and forth over the print. So it's very inconvenient, especially doing 200 to 300 pages in a big book. And I find that where the book crease goes in, I lose the Pebble. I get lost. So it could just be me. I don't know. I think some people are probably really talented at it. And before we got into some of the bigger readers, it was probably fabulous, and people were so grateful to have it. And I'm grateful, but like I said, more at an acute situation like in Whole Foods or somewhere seeing a phone book. The other thing it does is it will take a picture of whatever you're looking at and hold it for you so that, and this would be great for everybody, right? So you put it on something and you can take a little snapshot, and then it will hold the information for you. And I'm going to swirl this around so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I were looking up a phone number in a phone book, do you know how hard it is with these readers to lift the phone book 6 inches from your nose just trying to get a darn phone number, and then you go, okay, so it's blah, 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 800-555, wait, what? And you have to go back and you have to look at that. It's a pain. So this makes life so much easier. So that's the Pebble. The other thing that I use to read, and this is the smaller version, but the more transportable version of the CCTV devices. And it's awesome. It's called the Transformer. And I'm going to move you, and I'm going to show you my big, happy Transformer. The Transformer is a CCTV device that hooks up to a computer. Now, the long-term goal, is to hook it up to my laptop so that when I go to take the bar exam, it will be available to use for that. So what I want to show you, though, is, and this is brand new, the Transformer. They have bigger versions, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the Transformer is new technology. So the first thing I found out is you need an XY table underneath it. This is an XY table. It moves on the XY axis, and it moves smoothly so that when you put a book on it, you can go back and forth under this video camera, right? This is a video camera, and it shoots up into my computer. I use it on my desktop at home because I am fortunate and blessed to have a 27-inch Mac. And with that, I can see so much easier. So putting this on the XY table changes everything. You can open up the law book, which is very heavy, and you can see where it's at on the table, and you just slide back and forth, and you're reading. Now, there's a couple of things you need to know. On a Mac, this is not Mac compatible, so I had to do some monkey rigging, and I had to put PC Windows on my Mac. which apparently all Macs come with Intel processor inside, so you can do that. You can look it up on Google. The instructions are there. The Apple Store cannot help you with this because you've crossed over to the dark side for them, and they will not necessarily support that. But it was actually the Apple Store guy who told me about it because I told him my dilemma. Very nice, very nice. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I swear to you. So it's just a matter of following the processes. So I have to reboot it up into PC, up into Windows, and then this connects into a USB port, and then I can read. I had to put a table in front of my computer because my XY table for this big of a book takes a lot of room, and it was not working on my regular desk. So you should know that as well, that you need some good space to use this. It adjusts. Again, we can do the different colors if we wanted, but I like it as natural as possible. And you can go really big, and it'll refocus here in a minute. And then you can go down smaller so you see more. And it's basically like reading through a telescope. So if you ever see someone who's visually impaired, know that they're only seeing a small piece of whatever they're reading. And we move it around. Look how big my fingers look under there, even though the text looks small. So I usually keep mine, that's too big, depending on how tired I am, at about there. And I get into a rhythm. The other thing you should know is with the transformer, there is a delay in the video. The big mothership device does not have a delay, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So you can see when I go along, it blurs the words. And that's the delay from the device to the screen, and it's called a video delay. You want as little video delay as possible. So you need really updated equipment, and you need to keep it updated and fast moving. So you get into a rhythm where you can kind of see through the blur and moving back and forth and reading. And that's what I do. This is what it takes for me to read a law book. I aspire to a different device. The big mothership version of the CCTV is called the Merlin, and it is about $3,200 maximum price. There's a cheaper version of it. It's a little smaller. I think it's put out by a company that is competitive to the enhanced vision version, and that's $2,800, which is still a lot of money. This was a lot of money. Let's not kid ourselves. And then you have to buy Windows and whatever. So if you have a PC and can enlarge it, that's fine. It does work. The transformer does work with the Zoom Tech software, for those who know that. When I was using PCs, I had to buy special software to enlarge everything. With Mac and Apple, I don't. Everything comes compatible to the visual impairment, and you can just hold your finger on the control button and zoom forward, and it will keep everything happy and large for you, and you can just control it back and forth like that. I know you can't see that, but I was just doing that to the video camera. Whoa, making it large and big. So the other thing that I wanted to show you that I use to read, and I've talked about some of my study aid tools and that I use an iPhone. And one of the reasons I use an iPhone is because everything on an iPhone is enlargeable. So you can see there's the front of my iPhone. All I have to do is triple tap. That means with 3 fingers, double tap. Whoops. I just went to my weather. I go bonk, bonk. No. Bonk, bonk. And everything gets nice and big. Look how big that is. And then I triple tap. And it goes small again. Same on the iPad. So any applications that I use on here are very easily accessible for my vision. That's how I see. And then the iPad is the same. I have a Kindle app on here. I got the Kindle originally because Stargardts, people with Stargardts should not be staring at computers all day. The light going into your retina is bad. And I'll tell you the science behind that. And Richard Lewis told me about that, the guy who discovered the mutation on the Stargardts gene, on the gene that causes Stargardts, sorry. He said that dogs who were found to have the Stargardts genes and had it activated when they were kept in the dark completely, and I'm sorry we did science on animals, but when they were kept in the dark completely, there was no degeneration. The more light they had, the more degeneration. I stay out of the sun now. I live in a state where there's a lot of sun, and I stay out of the sun now in order to save my vision. I wear sunglasses. I UV protect myself all the time. Those are things that people should really research and find out. So anyway, I was telling you I put, and I talked about this when I was talking about my study guides, I put a hornbook on Kindle. There are only a couple of them on a Kindle. And then I can use it on my iPad. I can enlarge the print on my Kindle. It's very nice. And I don't have that light, that pixelated light, I think is what it's called. But on my iPad, I can bring it with me everywhere because I use this to schedule because it's so easy to see. And I can blow up my hornbook, so it's really accessible. I can pull it out. One of the Kindles actually does read text to you, and so that was the one I got. It was very nice. My daughter now has it. She has kidnapped it from me, but it's very helpful. So those are tools that I use to see for my law books. I talked about study tools, and there were other visual impairment aids as far as that. I found an app that reads to you, and I talked about that in my study aids. So I just wanted to hip you in on what it takes for the visually impaired to go to law school. And I'm always learning, and I'm always open to new things. Maybe by next year, I'll be able to get that Merlin. I'm not sure. Donations are welcome. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I hope this gives you some insight as to just how much fun this can be. Thus is the life.